the town and temple being dedicated to Apollyon. So this is the town of Apollyon. Who is Apollyon? Revelation chapter 9. The fifth angel sounded, the saw a star from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, the smoke of great furnace. The sun and the air were darkened to the rays of the smoke in the pit, and there came out the smoke of locusts on the earth. Unto them was given power and scorpions of the earth and power. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass. And the Revelation chapter 9 says, they had as king over them the angel of the abyss, whose name in Hebrew is Abaddon, and in Greek is Apollyon. That is. So we got something going on, and we're watching. The Pope is coming to visit the White House, September 23. I don't know why this date keeps coming together. There's the 70th session of the General Assembly in 2015. And on the 25th of December, the Pope is going to visit the United Nations. And on the 20th of September, the General Debate of the General Assembly 70th session, 70 session, will begin. What's 28th of September? Red Blood Moon. Are they going to talk about Israel? Condemn Israel? The 70th session of the General Assembly on the 28th of September. There's some subliminal programming going on around the world today. And this is one of them that I caught up on the internet. It's about a Stand Up to Cancer logo. And it's all over the place. If you're in America, the Western world, it's Stand Up to Cancer. But it's a subliminal programming for people, getting them ready. And the word is out in the world today about September 23 in particular. You've probably heard of so many websites, right? Citing September 23. Why? It's really a proliferation of these things because they're, it's some sort of a programming for people in the world. But what is S going up to C is the third letter of the alphabet. So September, we're going up on the 23rd. So kind of just also, I don't know whether it's fooling Christians, and there's a world deception system going on in the world, so watch it. Be prayerful and watchful. Declare 21st September International Day of Peace. For when they shall say peace and safety, that sudden destruction come upon them as well from the woman and child, they shall not escape. So this is what we're facing. And the New York federal government has already moved its location to Chicago, fearing that there could be a great big tsunami coming to New York. They moved to Chicago inland, and they booked in, and they moved the Federal Reserve office there. The elite, the people with so much money, guess what? Where they're building their homes now? They're bunkered underground. Even nuclear explosions could not harm them. So they're now building elaborate, wonderful homes for this elite. And US builds bunkers to protect the elite, while Russia builds them to protect the people. What is wrong with this picture? Well, America is also digging in. So a lot of people are digging in, billionaires. This is now the trend in America. NORAD, North American Aerospace Defense Command. That is anything that happens. If there's an airplane flying that's not supposed to be there, they will react, they will send their jets. But now NORAD is going back to the mountain bunker. They're hiding into the mountains for fear of some emission coming from electromagnetic emissions that might harm their communication and so on. So they're bunkered in. The whole world is getting ready. But lastly, I promised 20 minutes. Six-Day War. What about the Six-Day War? 1967. So I looked up in Wikipedia because I want to align it with 2015, what's going on in 2015. So I went back because I was counting Smitas, and it brought me to the war in 1967. And this is what I found. It was actually this particular day, June 7th. The Israeli Minister of Defense Moshe Dayan gave the order to attack because during this time, before 1967, Israel was a nation, but they did not have Jerusalem. Jerusalem belongs to Jordan. So they don't have any control of Jerusalem. But 1967, as the five nations around them was about to war on them, they preempted the war by starting the war, and they were able to take Jerusalem and conquer Jerusalem. And on 1967, June 7, Moshe Dayan gave the order, attack. After the heavy fighting, Israel completed the conquest of that city later that day. On that day, June 7, 1967, they got Israel. So June 7, 1967 is a specific day. In God's calendar, again, I use the numeric value, 630. 360 days a year, there's 49 years, 7 years. So 7 times 7 is 49 years, so you add, is equal to 1,7,640 days. So you add 1,7,640 days to 24630, gives you 42270. And this is the numeric value, and what is this day? But first scriptures, 70 weeks are determined upon the people of the holy city to finish transgression, to make an end of sins, and to make reconciliation for inequity, and to bring everlasting righteousness, and to seal up the vision of prophecy. So it's a major event. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth the commandment to restore and build Jerusalem. Under the Messiah and the prince shall be 7 weeks, and 3 scores and 2 weeks. The streets shall be built again in the wall, even in troubled times. Are they not in troubled times? So what is 4227 on June 7, 1967? Spreadsheet Excel. Show me that cell in September 23, 2015. Amazing. I said, whoa! Again, I jumped off my seat when I was doing this Excel spreadsheet. What's 23rd September, the day of atonement? So it's a split year, 5775, go back 77, 1967, Jerusalem. But here is more exciting, because when you go back 70 jubilees, so if you count 70 of 50 years, 70 times 50 is 3,500. So 70 jubilees ago was 3,500. Brings us to 1485 BC. And this is the lifetime of Joshua. What about Joshua? Joshua brought the Israelites into the land. And the Lord said to Moses, "Now speak to Israel and say to them, when you enter the land I am going to give you." When you enter the land. 1485, Joshua's time. For 6 years, he says, come. Then the 7th year is and so this is the beginning of the count. When you enter the land, so this is the beginning of the numbers of days that God has given His people. So it brings us 2015, which is 70 jubilees, 50 years. When Joshua entered the land, a milestone event, brings us also to this year. Then have the trumpets sounded everywhere on the 10th day of the 7th month. On the day of atonement, sound the trumpet throughout your life, the 50th year, proclaim liberty throughout the land. All its inhabitants, and it shall be a jubilee. I'm not saying that this is for sure, 23rd of September, gear up, get ready for rapture, or get ready for something, but I say, rehearse. Rehearse the feast of the Lord. Be on His calendar. Spend those 10 days of awe, of fasting, and being stricken with your soul, and being right with God, because He has atoned for us, so that He will spare us from all these things. So, it is not for us to be, what am I going to do? But for us to be in His holy place, to be in that mode of that bridal posture, so that we can hear from the Lord and know what to do, because we will be spared from this. What is the first command of the Lord? Love the Lord thy God. Hear ye the Lord thy God. This one, love the Lord thy God. We have been memorizing that. I don't think we have memorized it correctly. Exodus chapter 20. We missed some words in the first command of the Lord. And the first command of the Lord in Exodus chapter 20, verse 1. And God spoke all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, and out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. The first command of the Lord is, I am the Lord thy God who brought you out from Egypt. As in the days of the Mitzrayim, so will I show my glory to the people. You see, we are being brought out of the land of the world system. We don't belong here. That's why we need to get back to the calendar of God so that we know what's in His mind and in His heart. He's bringing us out and saving us out from this miserable, unholy place. And you will be amazed with so many things that I've been hearing, that the dulling of the senses of our spiritual senses is going on all around the world. I mentioned CERN, that there are so many other CERNs. Actually, they already found dark matter, and they know what dark matter is about. And they would place this dark matter in any territory, and that territory would somehow just encourage people to do all kinds of weird things. That's why crimes are getting worse and worse these days. You see, this is a grand agenda of the evil one because he knows that the day is coming, so he wants to have more and more control over the earth. But there will be a violent takeover because the rightful owner, which is Jubilee year, is going to return. The land will be returned to that rightful owner, and he's coming. And we're going along with him, and we're going to rule and reign together with him. So we need to get this mindset that we are being brought out of this miserable misery, this world system. That we should not belong here or be, holding on to things here, but rather be excited because God is saving us out of this place. And He's coming to rule and reign. So what are we saying? God has a calendar. He moves this calendar. We know His calendar is coming in. He fulfills His promise and His appointed dates. And He wants us to be in His calendar. And 3 times a year, He asks His people to gather together and celebrate His feast. And we should be there. So, discernment, being in the bridal posture, rehearsing the feast, and being right with the Lord, strengthen your soul, and just get ready, for God is doing a wonderful thing to His people, saving us out of this misery. Father God in heaven,